Hi there, I'm Emily Muhlstein, and this is a public hearing presentation for Reef Fish Amendment 28, which deals with red snapper allocation. So since the Gulf Council is at the public hearing stage of this document, what they're looking for from you is comments that are specific to the alternatives that I'm about to present. The Council would like to evaluate and possibly adjust the allocation of red snapper between commercial and recreational fishing sectors. Also, NOAA's catch share policy recommends that allocations should be revisited at regular intervals. So, Amendment 28 aims to reallocate red snapper resources between commercial and recreational sectors in order to increase the net benefits of red snapper fishing. They'd also like to increase the stability of recreational red snapper, which has experienced shorter and shorter seasons since 2007. The current red snapper annual catch limit, or quota, is 11 million pounds. The allocation is split so that 51% of that quota is given to the commercial fishery, leaving them with 5,610,000 pounds of red snapper annually. And the remaining 49% is allocated recreationally, leaving them with 5,339,000 pounds of red snapper each year. So there are a number of different management alternatives that the Council is considering for the reallocation of red snapper. The first alternative is the no action alternative, and that would maintain the 51% commercial, 49% recreational allocation that was established in Amendment 1 to the Reef Fish Fishery Management Plan. Alternative 2 would increase the recreational sector allocation by 3%, leaving 48% of the allocation to the commercial sector and 52% to the recreational sector. Alternative 3 would increase the recreational sector's allocation by 5%. That would allocate 46% of the red snapper quota to the commercial sector and 54% to the recreational sector. And Alternative 4 would increase the recreational sector's allocation by 10%. That would leave the commercial sector with 41% of the total allocation, and the recreational sector would get 59%. Alternative 5 is the Council's current preferred alternative. So if the red snapper quota is less than or equal to 9.12 million pounds, we would maintain the current 51% commercial, 49% recreational split. We're using 9.12 million pounds because that's the level that the quota was at when the commercial individual fishing quota program was put into place. Now, if the red snapper quota increases above that 9.12 million pounds, then in this alternative, we would allocate 75% of the increase to the recreational fishery and 25% of that increase to the commercial fishery. Alternative 6 is similar to Alternative 5 because it uses that 9.12 million pounds as the benchmark. If the quota is at or below 9.12 million pounds, we will continue along with the 51% commercial, 49% recreational split. However, in this alternative, anything above 9.12 million pounds will be allocated entirely to the recreational sector. And finally, we have Alternative 7 that uses 10 million pounds as the benchmark. So if the quota for red snapper is at or below 10 million pounds, we'll maintain that 51% commercial, 49% recreational split. And then anything above 10 million pounds will be allocated so that 75% goes to the recreational fishery and 25% goes to the commercial fishery. This table shows the amount of fish in millions of pounds and also percentage of allocation between each sector for each alternative that the Council's considering. Notice that in each alternative, beyond Alternative 1, the no action alternative, the recreational sector would get an increase in both percentage and millions of pounds of fish that is allocated to them. So as I mentioned earlier, since this is a public hearing presentation, the Council would really like your feedback on the alternatives that I've just presented to you. If you'd like to see the full document, you can follow the link on the screen, and it'll bring you to a more in-depth analysis of each alternative. If you'd like to submit comments, please do so by March 31st at the link below. The Council plans to take final action on this amendment in May of this year. And of course, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to contact us at golfcouncil@golfcouncil.org. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation and to send us your thoughts.